Right now, the latest City of Madison early voting numbers plus some in-person voting locations closed today due to the weather. And a Senate panel votes to advance the Supreme Court nomination of Judge Amy Coney Barrett, but with no Democrats present.
This is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Just days before the election, Wisconsin attorneys have created a new legal group. The Law Forward Group will focus on defending Wisconsin's progressive traditions and fighting voter suppression in the election. The group could counterbalance the conservative Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, a firm that has brought many high-profile legal challenges to the Evers administration, including a fight to overturn the statewide mask ordinance. The Madison City Clerk's Office says as of last night, more than 82,000 absentee ballots have been returned. That's 77% of the 106,564 ballots issued. More than 4,500 Madison residents have voted in-person absentee. 5 in-person absentee voting sites throughout the city of Madison are closed today due to thunderstorms in the forecast. These locations are closed: Madison College's Truax and South campuses, plus Lakeview, Sequoia, Goodman South, Madison, and Alicia Ashman libraries. Sites that are still open are the City County Building, Hawthorne, Meadow Ridge, and Pinney Libraries, and the UW Memorial Union. We have those details on channel3000.com. And let's see how long those storms are expected to last and when they're going to start. Meteorologist Aaron White has a look at your first warm forecast. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, we have a lot of activity across southern Wisconsin today, and it's going to continue for tonight into the early portion on Friday. Right now, though, as we look at radar, most of the activity is now north of Madison, but we have some moderate rain falling in the Dells, stretching back down towards Prairie du Chien. You can see even a few rumbles of thunder happening this afternoon just southwest of the Dells. Some embedded thunder there with those heavier showers just to the north and west of Lone Rock. These are moving to the east and northeast and eventually will move out of the area for the remainder of the afternoon. However, we are tracking another round of storms that's going to build in later on this evening. But as we take a look at rainfall totals, they have been fairly impressive for many areas. We had Platteville at over an inch of rainfall over the last 24 hours. Monroe also over an inch, and Mineral Point closing in on that 1 inch mark. Madison around 2/3 of an inch of rainfall. Looking over Madison right now, we have the rain showers, just a few sprinkles out there. Cloudy conditions, that's going to continue, and our temperature only at 43 degrees. 40 in Janesville, 45 in Mineral Point. However, we are looking at a warm front that's building northward. Temperatures are into the 60s and 70s across Illinois, and as that warm front builds in, that is going to set the stage for showers and thunderstorms later on this evening. We'll track those out, and we'll also look at a colder forecast coming up in just a bit.
Lots going on.
A lot of stuff going on, yeah.
All right, we'll check back, Aaron. Thank you.
Good.
New at noon, a Hennepin County judge has dropped a third-degree murder charge against former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in the killing of George Floyd. The ruling says the charge can be sustained when the defendant's actions were, quote, eminently dangerous to other persons, and evidence presented by the state does not show Chauvin's actions were eminently dangerous to anyone but Floyd. Chauvin still faces second-degree unintentional murder and second-degree manslaughter. He was released on a $1 million bond earlier this month. Public health officials say 92 people are hospitalized with COVID-19 in Dane County. That's another record-setting day. They're reiterating that the county is in a crisis model for contact tracing and is consistently seeing 150 cases of COVID per day. That means if you test positive, you're asked to notify your close contacts.
Should case counts decline, public health may be able to resume contact tracing, but we don't know when case counts will fall, and this all depends on communities' collective actions.
She asks people to always act as if you have COVID-19 by wearing a mask, distancing yourself from others, and staying home. And again, local leaders stress watching tomorrow's Badger game at home. UW-Madison and the American Red Cross are partnering for a blood drive in an effort to help those fighting COVID-19. Students who have recently recovered from COVID-19 are especially encouraged to donate at the Badgers Give Back blood drive because their blood contains antibodies that were produced to fight the virus. The drive is happening at the Nick Recreation Center next week, Tuesday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. President Trump's Supreme Court pick moved one step closer today to getting on the highest court in the land, but not with any help from Democrats. Michael George reports from New York.
But we did it. We did it. Judge Barrett's going to the floor.
Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee voted unanimously in favor of moving forward with the Supreme Court nomination of Judge Amy Coney Barrett.
Judge Amy Coney Barrett is one of the most impressive legal minds in the United States. She was arguably the most impressive judicial nominee that I've ever seen in any of these hearings.
Mr. Blumenthal.
Notably absent, all 10 Democrats on that committee. They boycotted the vote and placed posters of constituents in their seats who they say would lose health care coverage without the Affordable Care Act. They call the confirmation process a sham, playing out during an ongoing election and ahead of an upcoming Supreme Court case on the ACA.
The Senate Republican majority is conducting the most rushed, the most partisan, and the least legitimate nomination to the Supreme Court in our nation's history.
We believe that both the Affordable Care Act and Roe v. Wade could be lost.
Stop this confirmation.
Outside the Capitol, other opponents of Barrett's nomination gathered in protest. The appeals court judge met again with Republican senators ahead of today's vote. The full Senate is expected to vote on Monday, meeting the GOP goal of having the conservative judge sworn in before Election Day. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Republicans say they were able to hold today's vote without the Democrats because they maintain a majority on the committee. And according to precedent, as long as a majority of senators are present, they are allowed to proceed. But Democrats say Republicans broke the rules, which require at least 2 members of the minority present to vote something out of committee. A second federal court has ruled against excluding undocumented immigrants from the 2020 census count. The Trump administration's bid to remove those individuals from the census would have impacted the reapportioning of seats in Congress. Today's ruling blocks the Census Bureau and Commerce Department from implementing President Trump's July order. The Supreme Court is set to hear arguments over the issue in November. U.S. intelligence officials say there's been an attempt to disrupt the upcoming presidential election. Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe says these foreign actors are trying to spread falsehoods and to undermine voters' confidence in the system. According to U.S. intel officials, Iran allegedly posed as the far-right group Proud Boys, sending voters intimidating emails warning vote for Trump or else. FBI Director Christopher Wray says voters should remain confident in the political process. Senate Republicans have voted to authorize subpoenas for testimony from Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. The Senate Judiciary Committee motion comes amid growing conservative criticism of the tech companies. Specifically, Republicans are unhappy about content moderation decisions, which some GOP members have called a form of election interference. Zuckerberg and Dorsey are already scheduled to testify voluntarily before the Senate Commerce Committee on October 28th. President Donald Trump and his Democratic challenger Joe Biden are preparing to square off in their final debate tonight at Belmont University in Nashville. Plexiglass is visible around the candidates' podiums, and there will also be new rules to try and curb the chaos that occurred during their first matchup in Cleveland. A mute button will allow each candidate to 2 uninterrupted minutes to answer questions before an open discussion.
I'm interested in them having a debate about what they're actually talking about.
The latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows the president trailing in key swing states, including Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. For the first time in Time magazine's nearly 100-year history, there's a new logo on the cover. The November 2nd, November 9th double issue will have the name Time replaced with the word vote. The edition is filled with articles and editorials related to the election and its massive implications. The magazine's CEO and editor-in-chief writes that the decision was made because voting this year is, quote, imperative. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Our week-long tour of Washington, D.C. continues with a smoking good treat. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss this one.
Attention, fellow seniors. This election will determine your Medicare benefits. Under President Trump, Medicare premiums in Wisconsin have gone down 21%. But with the Biden-Harris health care plan, Medicare will change. Private insurance eliminated. Hospitals closed. You could even lose your doctor. Protect your Medicare coverage. Vote for President Trump. Learn more at seniorsbeware.com.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
It's no secret, Robertson is Wisconsin's aesthetic leader. But with results this natural, patients can keep it a secret if they want. Our secret to reducing stubborn body fat? Cool Sculpting. Book a free consultation to learn how Cool Sculpting is different at Robertson.
Do you take daily prescription pain medications, but they don't help enough? Do you want more options to better manage chronic pain? University of Wisconsin-Madison STAMP Study offers free, safe, therapeutic programs to address chronic pain. The programs occur once a week for 8 weeks and pays up to $340. Call 608-212-6902 today. Again, that's 608-212-6902.
Think you're managing your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease?
Are you okay?
I did. But even when I was there, I never knew when my symptoms would keep us apart. So I talked to my doctor and learned Humira is for people who still have UC or Crohn's symptoms after trying other medications. And Humira helps people achieve remission that can last, so you can experience few or no symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
The Social Security Administration just released a report saying that if a plan like the one Trump is proposing goes into effect, the Social Security Trust Fund would be, and I quote, permanently depleted by the middle of calendar year 2023. Put it plainly, Trump's plan would wipe out Social Security. If I'm your president, we're going to protect Social Security and Medicare. You have my word. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Our tasty week-long tour of Washington, D.C. continues, and we haven't stopped for a minute. This morning, we took a brisk walk on the National Mall, which is often referred to as America's front yard. The mall is a park that connects the Capitol to the Lincoln Memorial. And as you would imagine, after all that sightseeing, we really worked up quite an appetite. So we headed over to Ben's Chili Bowl, which has been a landmark since 1958. Here we can find locals as well as politicians and celebrities rolling up their sleeves as they dig into the dish that has made Ben's famous. It starts off with a 1/4 pound of smoked sausage that's half pork, half beef, that's cooked to perfection on a griddle. From there, it goes into a steamed bun before getting topped with yellow mustard, lots of chopped onions, and smothered with Ben's signature chili sauce. And as we've seen over the years, lots of things have changed here in Washington. But thankfully, Ben's recipe for chili has remained the same since the day they opened. So when you visit D.C., make sure you stop by Ben's. But until then, we've created a recipe for what we call Ben's Chili Dog, which we think is the next best thing to being here, and you can find it online. Now I'm off to explore more food finds. I'm Howard from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a smoking good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Thank you, Howard. Coming up next to noon, a gloomy day with scattered showers and a few thunderstorm chances later on. Aaron has your first warn forecast next.
We took a bad economy that was falling and turned it around. Trump took a good economy and drove it back into the ditch through his failure to get COVID under control, his failure to deliver real relief to working people. Does he not understand and see the tens of millions of people who've had to file for unemployment this year so far? The people who lost wages while the cost of groceries have gone up dramatically? Donald Trump has been almost singularly focused on the stock market, the Dow and NASDAQ. Not you, not your families. My plan will help create at least 5 million new, good-paying jobs and create them right here in the United States of America. Let's use this opportunity to take bold investments in American industry and innovation so that the future is made in America. I'll be laser focused on working families. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
This is an important election announcement. Early voting is open in Wisconsin. You can same-day register and vote at an early voting site during the one-stop early voting period. Don't forget to bring your photo ID when you go. Go to iwillvote.com and see where you can early vote now. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Here's how my plan works. Anyone making less than $400,000 a year won't pay a penny more. I'm going to ask the very big corporations to pay their fair share. We're going to invest in creating millions of good-paying jobs. We're going to ease the burden of the major costs in your life. Healthcare. We're going to protect Social Security, increase the benefits for millions of seniors. When I announced I was running, I said that's the reason, to rebuild the backbone of this country. Hard-working folks in the middle class. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Friday morning, we're going to introduce you to a new member of our morning team.
And it is Badgers game day, but things looking a lot different this time around. What local officials are hoping people keep in mind before gathering for the game.
At CBS News, true journalism listens to all voices and leaves the decisions to you. CBS News, America decides.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
A positive sign for the labor market and the most villainous stars of your favorite horror films. Diane King Hall has your Money Watch report.
Another 787,000 people signed up for unemployment benefits last week, but that was much better than expected and a sharp improvement from the prior week. Meanwhile, the Labor Department says filings for pandemic unemployment assistance topped 345,000. Both American and Southwest Airlines are reporting another round of losses for their latest quarter. American says it lost $2.8 billion and Southwest lost $1.2 billion. The budget airliner has still been selling just 2/3 of seats on planes, leaving the middle seat open for social distancing. Amazon Prime customers can now get their groceries quicker. The company is offering free 1-hour grocery pickup on orders of $35 or more at all of its Whole Foods stores across the nation. Prime members could previously only pick up groceries at certain Whole Foods stores. And everyone has their favorite villains, but when it comes to horror films, preferences vary from state to state. And a survey from FrontierBundles.com revealed the most scream-worthy villains across the U.S. Frankenstein was the top overall. The classic character was the most searched in nearly a dozen states. Scream's Ghostface was second, and Chucky from Child's Play rounded out the top 3 most notorious. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to CBSMoneyWatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Diane King Hall.
Diane, thank you. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up almost 2 points. The NASDAQ down 58. The S&P 500 down over 2. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee on this gloomy Thursday.
Yeah, that's just it. Gloomy and wet. I'm afraid to hear how much rain we could get out of this next system because we still have work that we could get done outside, but we'll take it as it comes. It's not lumpy, at least not yet. I was talking with Jennifer Blazek. She is the director of our Farm and Industry Short Course. When I say short course, a lot of people understand that phrase. It's short courses that started over 136 years ago for our Wisconsin farmers that wanted to take a break after the harvest and upgrade some of their skills, focused on simple things like animal husbandry and accounting. Well, that same tradition goes on today, but Jennifer said they're going all online starting next week with their fall terms. They'll be talking about introduction to soils and business principles. She said actually it's going halfway decent as far as enrollment. 22 students have signed up, 2 out of state. Half the class is female and 5 have already received some of their educational degrees. So be interesting to see how a Farm and Industry Short Course transitions to virtual learning, because that is really one where it's been all about hands-on learning and face-to-face education in the past. So we're keeping an eye on what's happening as far as dairy, or at least I am. Normally, we would know by now whether the government's going to continue their purchases through USDA's Farm to Families Food Box program. They normally make that announcement about the middle of the month. It has not arrived yet. Now we're starting to wonder, are they going to try to create a different program, something that still supports families and also can help continue purchases on dairy? I noticed today that the barrel cheese all of a sudden up 9.5 at $2.40 1/4. 40-pound block cheese up 3 1/4 at $2.77 1/4. Well, AA butter went down 1 3/4 at $1.43 per pound today. So just watching that barrel and block cheese action in light of those higher prices already in place, Mark, makes me wonder if there might not be a press release or an announcement coming yet sometime this afternoon or tomorrow morning. We also have a cold storage report later this week that might give us an indication on how much of that product's already been moving through the chain. But Yankees got a feeling, and I'll keep an eye on that because the feeling I've got as far as this forecast is soggy. You know what I'm saying?
We got you. All right. Thank you, Pam.
Yep.
Read between the lines. Here is Aaron now. A lot of rain out there.
Yeah, definitely a soggy forecast, as we've already seen quite a bit of rainfall over the last 24 hours in southern Wisconsin. Platteville topping the list at 1.11 inches. We had Monroe just over 1 inch. Mineral Point close to that mark. And Janesville right around 3/4 of an inch. And Madison just a little bit lighter, down to 2/3. But still pretty impressive for the end of October. We're not talking about snow. We're talking about rain in the forecast. Even some thunderstorms coming into play later on this evening. We had a few rumbles out there earlier today. Those are diminishing, and right now in Madison we're left with cloudy conditions, some drizzle out there, 44 degrees, so it is on the chilly side. The wind out of the east at 7 miles per hour. We also have a little bit of mist and fog developing across southern Wisconsin. You can see visibility is down under 2 miles for many locations, even a little bit more dense fog down into parts of Illinois. And also our temperatures generally on the chilly side for much of southern Wisconsin, into the 40s, upper 40s in Janesville at 48 degrees, 45 in Watertown, but look at the Dells down to 36, and we have 36 in Camp Douglas as well. So there is a bit of a difference in temperature across the area, mainly because of all the rain that's falling north now. Areas that are dry have started to warm up into the upper 40s, but we have those rain showers with a few embedded thunderstorms into portions of just areas north and west of Madison. Right around the Dells, seeing a few rumbles of thunder. That's going to continue for this afternoon. All of this is lifting northward. You can see all the snow, mainly in northern Wisconsin, into parts of Minnesota and the Dakotas. What's happening this afternoon is we have another system that's developing down to our south and west, a warm front stretching out to the east. This warm front's going to lift northward through the rest of today. That's going to help to boost our temperatures into the 50s. Likely some areas will make it into the 60s. I think closer to the state line, Janesville could be into the upper 60s this afternoon, while areas to the north going to be stuck in the 40s for much of the day. So here's how it plays out on Future Track. Notice our temperatures up into the 50s as that warm front lifts north. We'll see 65 in Janesville around 5 o'clock this afternoon. Those mild temperatures are going to continue, but that rain mainly to the north and west for this afternoon. But watch what happens. We're going to see a line of thunderstorms actually develop through the afternoon and evening. That's going to push across Wisconsin. Could actually bring a few stronger thunderstorms as well into the area. Looking at some stronger wind gusts and heavy rainfall, honestly, is going to be the biggest concern for the rest of tonight into the morning on Friday. Rainfall amounts additionally could top over 1 inch around the Dells. Areas to the north and west of Madison going to see some rather impressive rainfall totals going into Friday morning. Also for this afternoon and evening, we have that threat for a few stronger thunderstorms as we see that line building in right around 7, 8, 9 o'clock this evening. Not really looking at a widespread severe weather event, but a few strong wind gusts, mainly heavy rainfall, going to be the biggest concern for this evening and tonight. So our high for today in Madison, 59 degrees. Areas to the south warmer into the 60s. Tonight dropping down to 41 degrees. And after today, it's our last mild day. 59 down to 44 on Friday. We'll keep the 40s in the forecast for the weekend. Maybe a little bit of snow mixing in, I think, Sunday into Monday. Otherwise, just a chilly forecast.
All right, we'll watch those storms tonight. Thank you, Aaron. Next at noon, we'll introduce you to our pet of the week, a hound mix named Benson. Stay with us.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
What does that mean for you? Household incomes down $6,500 a year. Higher gas prices at the pump and utility bills at home.
And here's how it works. I'm going to raise taxes.
Small businesses pay more. 5 million jobs lost.
You're going to get a tax raise.
An economy in ruins. That's what Joe Biden's tax increase means for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Isn't it time you had a health insurance company that shares the same values as you? One that acts like a trusted health partner that not only offers easy access to the doctors, hospitals, and clinics of UW Health, but also sees the greater good in keeping us healthy in the first place. A company that understands that serving our community means serving all of our communities. Isn't it time you had Quartz? Quartz, health plans built with you in mind.
I'm a mom, a grandma, and a business owner. Our family repaired 3 barns and a 100-year-old farmhouse for our small business. I was raised to believe in hard work and that a person's word is sacred. As your assemblywoman, I'll work hard for our small towns and family farms, to rebuild our schools and main streets, and be your fiscal watchdog to make sure our tax dollars come back to work for us here at home.
He's erratic.
I have 5 different strategies. I could change any moment.
Refuses to lead.
I don't take responsibility at all.
Or rely on experts.
One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
Enough.
As president, I'll make you a promise. I'll protect America. I will defend us from every attack, seen and unseen, always, without exception, every time.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Election season is here. Remember, who you vote for is secret, but whether you vote is public information. Your friends, family, and neighbors can look up your voting record. This year, whether by mail, early, or on November 3rd, be sure to make a plan to vote. And after the election, your voting record will be updated based on your participation on November 3rd. So vote on or by November 3rd.
Time to introduce you to our pet of the week. It's Benson. He's a medium-sized 10-month-old hound mix with lots of energy. Benson already knows how to sit and is eager to please, especially with treats. Our friends at the Dane County Humane Society say his goofy personality will give you plenty to smile about. Good-looking dog. If you're interested in adopting Benson or checking out other animals at the Dane County Humane Society, go to giveshelter.org or set up an appointment at 838-0413. And last week's pet, Chimbles the 8th, was adopted. That is spectacular news. The Dane County Humane Society, a local car dealership, and the ASPCA are teaming up for the last week of October to help animals find homes. DCHS and Don Miller Subaru West will be highlighting different adoptable animals all week long. If you adopt a friend between October 24th and October 31st, you'll receive $25 in pet supplies from the Humane Society Adoption Center. Lonely Hearts Club animals will also have reduced adoption fees. Now's the time, folks. And now's the time for the final check of the forecast. Here's Aaron.
Well, it's going to be interesting as we head into this evening. We have that line of thunderstorms developing right around 7 o'clock. That's going to track across southern Wisconsin. Could bring some stronger wind gusts and definitely some heavy rainfall. So there is a marginal risk of a few severe thunderstorms this evening. Otherwise, it's just going to be a chilly forecast. But definitely download our weather app, WISC Weather, for the latest updates as we go throughout the day.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.